Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Willow Springs International Raceway here in Rosamond, California, as we are here for the second feature event of the season here in season number 2 of the Wawa Pro Series. The Grand Prix of California here for 20 laps around this 2.5 mile road course, a very fast-paced and wide sweeping road course at that. We'll see ourselves quite a few battles throughout the field in this race here today. We had an excellent sprint race yesterday, even though Gary Corelli led every single lap. Had a lot of battling going on for the podium positions, where Zachary Fitzwater and Jesse Turner received championship points. And not only did Turner receive a point for finishing third in yesterday's sprint race, he also got a bonus point for winning the pole, grabbed the fastest lap in yesterday's sprint race. So he will be starting on the pole position here on the road course in this 20-lap event. So a huge opportunity for our defending champion, Jesse Turner, to get his first win of the season and only the second race of the season. He's also going for his 25th career win on the channel as well, and it could very well be here today. But Gary Corelli did an excellent job yesterday, like I mentioned, led every single lap in that sprint race. He starts in the second position for today's event. And then you also have our last feature winner, Trey Wright, who won the Daytona 160K, the points leader in the series after the first 3 events. Of course, the 2 sprint races and the feature event that we have had. He starts there in the third position alongside the all-time winningest driver on the channel, Zachary Fitzwater. So Gary Corelli alongside some very strong company here, the Willow Springs International Raceway. In the point standings, after the sprint race yesterday, Trey Wright still the points leader with 12 points towards the championship. Brad Stover 9 points behind. A tie between Ashlyn Boyd and Hunter Braxton. They're both 4 points behind. And then you have Gary Corelli 5 points behind after that sprint win yesterday. He's only 5 points behind coming into this race. You also got Scott Upton and Ben Young there, both 6 points behind coming into this event there. But it's still very early on in the season. Those points will build up as the season goes along. Right now, really don't have much going on in terms of the points for these drivers. But it's only the second race of the season, second race on a road course. So jumping right into the road courses pretty early. We're going to have 4 road courses this season. The same 3 we had last year, Willow Springs, Road America, and Watkins Glen. And then we'll also have a race at Circuit of the Americas for these guys as well. So that'll be a great one once we get to that. But today the focus is here on Willow Springs. 20 laps of action, and it should be a good one here for the Grand Prix of California. Jesse Turner on the pole position in the number 5. He's starting alongside Gary Corelli there on the front row. In row number 2, it's Trey Wright, our last feature winner here in the Wawa Pro Series, alongside the 59 machine of Zachary Fitzwater. Brendan Wilmington, a great starting position for him, and Roberto Crown Jr. alongside the 28. Ashlyn Boyd and Alex in a row, teammates at Blackout Motorsports. They're alongside each other in row 4. Dylan Young and Thomas Troxel make up row number 5. You had Eric Monaco, Fisher G, Joey Hightower, Zachary Winkle there in the number 90 machine. You have Vlad Prescott and Landon Smith Jr., William Brock and Seth Cole, Chase Buck, Scott Upton, Chris Reynolds, and Justin Zidell back in there. Ben Young, Ryan Madden, Hunter Braxton, Nicholas Samadio, Tyree Cartman and Brad Stover, Christopher Alfie, and Jacob Walker. That is the full field here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. And these 30 drivers will roll off here. Just half a pace lap on this racetrack, so we're going to get right in the racing here for 20 laps of action. Fuel window going to be right past halfway, about 10, 11 laps, so that pit stop is going to be critical. Noah Clifton almost won this race last year, had an issue on the pit lane, and it gave way to Seth Cole winning this race in last season's event. We'll have to see if something like that happens again. That cycle of pit stops will be crucial to who gets the race victory. But the number 18 and number 5 of Jesse Turner leads to the green flag. Let's see who gets it done here in the Grand Prix of California in the Wawa Pro Series. We're underway here at Willow Springs. And a good jump out of Jesse Turner at the start of the race, but he's unable to hold on to the lead. Gary Corelli right to the inside of him, and Fitzwater going 3 wide for the race lead on the first lap. But I think Corelli may get the advantage here, or will he? He will. Gary Corelli looking to pick up right where he left off yesterday after he won the sprint race, but Zachary Fitzwater moving to the inside of him, up the hill, and they're side by side for the race lead. Fitzy trying to take it away from Corelli, and the 59 will clear him just barely off the bottom of the hill. What a race there at the start of this event. Zachary Fitzwater from the 4th starting position to the point for Appalachia Motorsports. Gary Corelli there in 2nd, Jesse Turner falling to 3rd, Roberto Crown Jr. to the inside of Trey Wright. Alexander Rowe is here as well. The first lap will be led by Fitzwater in the number 59. Everyone's going to get through the first lap cleanly. We did have a couple of incidents in yesterday's event, and that did affect the starting order just a little bit. Right at the end of yesterday's sprint race, you had Zach Winkle and Vlad Prescott tied for the fastest lap. Winkle dumped Vlad Prescott and won the tiebreaker because he finished ahead of the 71. Crown Jr. has gotten around Turner, but he's off the racetrack just a little bit, and here comes the 5 on the outside. These guys really edgy throughout the field, and Gary Corelli right on the back bumper of the 59 of Zachary Fitzwater right here. That number 18 might have a shot going down the hill. He's going to get into Fitzwater. And Gary Corelli all over the back bumper of Zachary Fitzwater for this race lead. This next-gen car giving us some great racing. It doesn't matter, though. It's still the same Cup physics as we've always had. So the racing itself should not really be any different than what we've seen in the past here, even though it is theoretically a new car. But some good stuff here at the start of this show. Corelli is all over Fitzy for this race lead. These two guys have pulled out to a significant gap from the rest of the field, and Corelli's going to have a nose to the inside, and he's going to get it right there on Fitzwater. So Gary Corelli taking the race lead away on lap 2. That's going to close Turner and Trey Wright back in. Roberto Crown Jr., Alexander Rowe is here as well. Troxel, Brendan Wilmington fell back a little bit. Fisher G and Eric Monaco currently inside the points. Remember, only the top 10 finishers in each feature event receive championship points. The next race is going to be at Auto Club. At the moment, Corelli would start on the pole for the sprint race there. But we're not too worried about that right now. We're only 3 laps into this road course extravaganza here. The Willow Springs, Trey Wright for 3rd on Jesse Turner. And Alexander Rowe there looking to hold off Thomas Troxel. All these guys bunched up. Roberto Crown Jr., they are not having a good time out there. They are falling back. They're losing some more ground here. Eric Monaco looking to the outside of them. And that's going to be for the 9th position right there. And this is 11th right here between Dylan Young and Ashlyn Boyd. Ashlyn Boyd fell back there at the start of the show. Dylan Young going to close back in. Troxel to the inside of Alexander Rowe. And Trey Wright has gotten around Zachary Fitzwater for 2nd. Trey Wright looking to go back-to-back. That'd be a huge boost in this championship if he can go back-to-back. Of course, in the Hers Dash Series, Johnny Pazuko. Oh, boy. That was close there between Alexander Rowe and Fisher G off the exit of the final corner. Fisher G will keep the advantage there. Actually, he'll get the advantage on Alexander Rowe. Alexander Rowe losing 2 positions on that lap right there. But anyways, I was about to say, Johnny Pastuco in the Hers Dash Series finished 2nd at Daytona and then finished runner-up a couple nights ago. Or should I say finished winning the race. He won the race to South Boston a couple nights ago. Turner falling back in this one in the number 5. Thomas Troxel now all over the back bumper of him. And Turner did not get off to a good start in this race at all. But Troxel definitely looks like he is one of these guys who has a strong race car. This number 21 machine for Cropley Motorsports. Both the Cropley cars inside the top 10 for now. But Roberto Crown Jr., they are in a battle with the Outer Island cars of Eric Monaco and Dylan Young. Dylan Young right there in the 79 looking to get inside this top 10 and have a shot at some points here today. Troxel's got it on Turner. And number 21 is going to move up to the 4th position. Turner falls back after starting on the pole position for this race. He's going to fall back to the 5th position for Tracoan Racing Enterprises. And now Fisher G might have a shot on him for 6th. Actually, for 5th, excuse me. Fisher G is going to take the 5th position away from Turner, and Turner continues to fall back. Turner way off the pace here. He is not up to speed compared to some of these other guys. Now, I will say, this is the first time that we have done this within the ratings, and I don't talk about the ratings too much. I mean, outside of the fact that they're all equal, but the range is now 25 points for all the aspects, and because of that, I think we're seeing some guys just go a little bit faster than others, and I think one of those fast guys is Trey Wright, because this number 69 is only 0.3 of a second off the race lead behind Gary Corelli here on lap number 5. And I think we might be seeing Trey Wright take this race lead here very soon. Not only that, Trey Wright holds the fastest lap right now, which means he would get the pole for the California Sprint at Auto Club next weekend. But he's all over the back bumper here. And how about Fisher G as well, the number 89 machine. Fisher G started 12th in this race, and he's going for 4th now on Thomas Troxel. Number 89, really quick out here at Willow Springs. Seeing a lot of these guys move through the field a lot better than they did in yesterday's sprint race. Of course, the sun is out, so it's a slick racetrack, so some guys' setups just might not be good compared to some other guys. Trey Wright's all over the back bumper of Gary Corelli, and Brendan Wilmington's all over the back bumper of Jesse Turner back in there. Number 28 machine trying to get around Jesse Turner. Turner falling way back in this 5 machine. They're definitely going to need to do an adjustment on the pit stop. Here comes Alexander Rowe moving to the inside of him. That's going to be for the 6th position, and Turner now under fire for 7th as, he's going to try to fight there with Alexander Rowe as these tires wear out. Roberto Crown Jr. has fallen outside the top 10. Tough break for them right there, but Dylan Young, Eric Monaco both up inside the top 10 right now. Meanwhile, Fitzwater's kind of been on his own right here in the 3rd position after he took the lead away. He lost it to Gary Corelli, then lost third, should I say, lost 2nd to Trey Wright, and now Trey Wright looking to take the lead away from Gary Corelli. And Troxel looking to take the 4th position back away from Fisher G. Lots of great racing going on here. Battle between Brendan Wilmington and Alexander Rowe. Rowe was unable to get around Jesse Turner right there. Troxel might have a shot, though, on Fisher G. And all these guys in the top 5, I would venture to say, have a very good chance at still winning this race because they're really all right on each other here. And when we get to that cycle of pit stops, that's when things are going to get a little crazy and we'll see a lot of cycling go through. But Gary Corelli's done an excellent job all weekend. He grabbed the fastest lap in the Daytona 160K last week, and because of that, he started on the pole yesterday in the sprint race, led every lap in that sprint race, did not get the pole though, that was Jesse Turner. But Gary Corelli in this 8 team took the lead away from Zachary Fitzwater on lap 2 of this race and has not looked back since, but he has had to hold off this 69 of Trey Wright. And he's been in a very intense battle with the Andrews Racing machine this entire run. Eric Monaco on Alexander Rowe, and Scott Upton inside the top 10 now. Great run for them in Collins Racing. They're going to have a shot on Alexander Rowe right here. That is going to be for the 9th position. Monaco alongside Wilmington, that'll be for 7th, and Troxel back to the inside of Fisher G. He was unable to get around G the last lap. He might have a shot right here. Thomas Troxel's had a solid start to the season. He won the sprint race at Daytona, didn't receive any championship points at Daytona because he wrecked out, but doing fairly well right here inside the top 5, and he's going to have a run to the inside of Fisher G there for the 4th position. These tires are wearing out here, so that is definitely coming into effect. One thing I will like to say, and I'm glad we're saying this, nobody's wrecked out in this race. Got a lot of guys in the back of the field just shuffling all around, but they have not wrecked. No damage to anyone. We had that interesting incident in yesterday's sprint race, and then, of course, at the end there, you had Zach Winkle just completely dump Vlad Prescott, and thing is, for either of those guys, we got some contact there between Dylan Young and Scott Upton. That was close right there, but they kept it together. You got Zach Winkle here in 13th. Vlad Prescott way deeper in the field there in 22nd. So, obviously you can kind of tell how that went between those 2 drivers right there. These guys might be kind of waiting until we get to that cycle of pit stops at this point. It's kind of settled down up front at this point. Eric Monaco's done an excellent job in the 75 machine. He's now up to 7th behind Jesse Turner, and it's Brendan Wilmington, Alexander Rowe, Scott Upton in the points. They kind of have spread out a little bit. Trey Wright is trying, though, all over Gary Corelli for this race lead. You got to give Corelli a lot of credit. This is only his 5th official start on the channel. His first came in the Indy 250, and of course that's a great race to give your first career start because it's the longest race that we do on the channel. And Gary Corelli, really didn't see too much of him. I mean, he caused a wreck in the sprint race at Daytona last week, but then he came here at Willow Springs and So far, he's led all but one lap in all the laps that we have run so far this weekend here in the Wawa Pro Series. So this number 18, definitely an excellent driver. Gary Corelli and Nathan Orban Motorsports. And Trey Wright, though, looking to go back-to-back, win the first 2 features of the season. Be huge towards the championship for Trey Wright, and he might have a shot here for the race lead. Gary Corelli with a bit of a different line there as they head down the hill. And side by side again between Fisher G and Thomas Troxel. This time Fisher G with the advantage. Great to see Fisher G back racing on the channel. It's been a while since we've seen him. But here he is, looking to get his first points of the season. An excellent job here for King R Family Racing and that number 89 team. Going from 12th to 4th before the cycle of pit stops. Same top 10. Well, these guys doing an excellent job, and here is Trey Wright's opportunity. He is all over Corelli now. Just a 1/10 of a second behind. He's got the nose, but he didn't quite get it. Corelli shut the door on him for the race lead right there. Next time by, we'll be halfway through the Grand Prix of California here in the Wawa Pro Series. Trey Wright is, I think he's faster than Corelli at this point, but I just don't know if he can make the pass before the cycle begins. But Trey Wright is going to try, and I mean, he's all over this 18 machine. Up the hill, he might have a shot here. He can hold the inside a little bit tighter than Corelli going down the hill, but Corelli doing an excellent job. Trey Wright's going to try again with a different line down the hill. Not enough, and Corelli holds on to the race lead. Actually pulled away just slightly there. Fitzwater might be under fire from Fisher G here in a moment. Assuming the cycle of pit stops does not begin here soon. Fitzwater's been just hanging in third this entire run. Fisher G has been closing in. He's moved up 8 positions in this race on a road course, so that's pretty good there. Out of the number 89. Trey Wright had a great run on the inside there. This may be his opportunity. He's really good there through that final corner, and he's going to have a shot right here halfway to this Grand Prix of California. Nose to the inside for the race lead. Looking to go back-to-back, and Trey Wright trying to hold on. But Gary Corelli is not going to give it to him easy. He's going to have a hard fight here as they go up the hill. Trey Wright's going to hold the outside lane, but Corelli's going to be able to clear him. The Trey Wright had it for just a moment, but Corelli just a bit faster off the corner, and he's pulling away just slightly here. That might be it before we get to the cycle. However, we might have a battle here for third. Fisher G looking to take a position away from Zachary Fitzwater. Fisher really quick in this 89. Fisher may win this race. That's how fast that 89 machine is. King R Family Racing, they gave him a rocket ship here today at Willow Springs. Turner is still 5th, and it's Wilmington, Monaco, Upton up a position ahead of Alex in a row, who is now 10th. Fastest lap still Trey Wright. Fisher G with the second fastest lap. That's good to start for the California Sprint at Auto Club next weekend. And I believe we might be seeing some guys, or maybe all the guys, come down the pit lane right here, right at halfway in the Grand Prix of California. Gary Corelli in the 18 leads him down. Almost a bit of contact there between Monaco and Alex in a row, and quite literally everybody except Justin Zidell coming down the pit lane. I do not believe this is going to work for Zidell too well in the number 47, but hey, when you're in the back of the field, you're outside of points, you got to try something, right? Only the top 10 drivers, only a third of the field receive championship points in each of these feature events. So if you're not top 10, you got to try something and get something to work your way. Gary Corelli came down the pit lane, the race leader. Turner in the number 5, looking with some 4 tires right there in front of Corelli. And Corelli will get the advantage off the pit lane. They come out the same order they came in, but they're all on each other right here. Corelli actually has a bit of damage in that 18 machine. We'll have to see how that affects him. Trey Wright second, Fitzwater and Fisher G. Then it's Troxel, Wilmington, Monaco, Upton. Turner fell back quite a bit. And then Alex in a row rounding out the top 10. So that was a nice orderly stop for all those guys. Justin Zidell is currently the race leader in the number 47. He went an extra lap. We'll have to see if he tries to pull any strategy and possibly find himself inside the top 10 to get his first points of the season. This is Idell's first official season here in the Wawa Pro Series, driving for Hamill Racing Enterprises, the all-time winningest team on the channel. Look at this right here. Fisher G's gotten around Fitzwater for third. And this number 89 is right on Trey Wright and Gary Corelli for this race lead. Any of these four guys can win this race, and maybe even Troxel if he finds some speed to get up there. But Gary Corelli holding on to the race lead here. Here comes Fisher G for second on Trey Wright. A great run through the exit of the final corner. Idell is not going to get any advantage on these guys. He's just now coming out of his pit stall. Here comes Fisher G looking for second on the 69. He's got a nose to the inside. Oh, he's going to spin the 69! And Trey Wright in the outside wall! And he's going to gain some damage from that, and there will be a conversation after this race between Trey Wright and Fisher G. No doubt about it, but Fisher G was pulling a bit of a Ross Chastain type of move right there on the 69. And Trey Wright, who was second pretty much this entire race, is more than likely not going to win. He's going to fall back to fifth. He's got some left side damage, but Fisher G is coming in this 89. From the 12th starting position, here he is now in second, doing all he can to find his way around the 18 of Gary Corelli. This has been an excellent race here at Willow Springs. Absolute banger here in the Grand Prix of California. Corelli's going to try to hold on, but I do not know if he's going to be able to hold off this 89. He's clearly one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. As a matter of fact, he's the second fastest car in terms of the fastest lap in this race, and he just spun out the fastest car in this race. And once again, Vlad Prescott with damage. This has not been his weekend. He's in the wall again and out of the race. So half a second now between the 18 and the 89. Vlad Prescott is so far the only driver out of this event. Once again, another issue for Vlad Prescott. I'm not sure who got into him. Ryan Madden at the back of the field there in the 89 machine. 95, excuse me. The 89 machine is Fisher G, and he's going for it here. He's going for the race lead. Great run up the hill. He may have a nose to the inside coming down, and they are side by side for the race lead here on lap 14 of 20. How long will they stay side by side is the question, because Fitzwater is here looking to strike. Of course, he was not able to hold off Fisher G right there. Fisher was able to get around him, but I think Fisher G is going to have the advantage here through the final corner and finally take this lead away from Gary Corelli. He's got it already. So Corelli's going to fall back to second, but Fisher G to the point here at Willow Springs. Did not see this one coming at all, but this number 89 was lights out here today, but this race is not over yet. Still 6 laps to go here in the Grand Prix of California in the Wawa Pro Series. Gary Corelli looking to close back in, but that 89 was clearly much faster. Pretty much this entire race, that 89 was closing through the field. Fitzwater looking to get a podium position here in the 59. Then it's Troxel, Trey Wright, Brendan Wilmington, Jesse Turner, Scott Upton. Chase Buck has found himself inside the top 10. How about that? Kind of out of nowhere there for the Hamill Racing Enterprises driver. He's now going to try to get around Scott Upton for the 8th position. And then you got Alexander Rowe there in that last points-paying position in 10th. But Chase Buck going to get his first points of the season here at Willow Springs, and it looks like he may be able to do it. That 09 is really fast, but I don't think anyone is quite as fast as this guy, Fisher G, who now also holds the fastest lap in this race, which I believe he just posted. Then it's Jacob Walker, second quickest right there. But Fisher a little bit off the racetrack there. He can't make mistakes. Like I said, this race is far from over. All 5 of these guys are really quite on each other here. Jacob Walker, number 13, with the second fastest lap, kind of midway through the field right there. Seth Cole's got some damage. Last year's winner here at Willow Springs with significant damage to that 82 machine. These guys getting a little antsy at the back. Eric Monaco fell way off the pace. A terrible pit stop for Monaco. He's going to fall outside the points right there. And same with Roberto Crown Jr. They really lost a lot of ground. They were up front earlier on, and they're not there anymore. Any wrecks that occur throughout the race that I catch, you'll see in the corner of your screen throughout the day. Troxel may be closing in on Fitzwater here for the second, or should I say third position. Trey Wright may have lost his opportunity at a race win here today after Fisher G got into him. I'm sure Trey Wright's not going to be happy about that, especially if Fisher G wins this race. Battle back in here for the final few points paying position. Scott Upton under fire from Alexander Rowe, and Chase Buck's gotten around Jesse Turner for 7th, so Buck's now up to 7th in the 09 machine. He's going to have his eyes set on Brendan Wilmington there for 6th. At the same gap between Fisher G and Gary Corelli with 4 laps to go here at Willow Springs. They actually pulled ahead by about a 10th there, so Fisher G just slightly faster. However, Thomas Troxel looking to get 8 points in this race. That'd be a great boost in the championship. Whereas Fitzwater has 5 total points coming into this event. Thomas Troxel has 3 total points. Great to start out with any amount of points. And Troxel has it here on Fitzwater as they go up the hill. Fitzwater is a little bit off the pace. He's trying to wheel that thing, but he's been struggling with it just a little bit. He couldn't hold off Fisher G, and he's not going to be able to hold off Thomas Troxel. Troxel is closing in on Fisher G. Troxel is faster than this 89 right now. But that 09 of Chase Buck is really fast, and he's closing back in here on the 28 of Brendan Wilmington. Battle here, Upton and Rowe. That is for the 9th position. Dylan Young hopes they screw up, and he gets some points in this race. I'd watch out for Troxel. He did lose a little bit of time having to get around Fitzwater there, but this 21 may be faster than Fisher G right now, and especially if Fisher keeps on edging that grass right there, he's not going to be able to hold on. Across the line, Troxel closed in by... Oh, he closed in by half a second on Fisher G. That's some good timing right there out of Troxel. He's got 3 laps to do it, though. If he gets half a second each lap, he'll be right there at the finish. He's got to get around Corelli, though, and that might be the saving grace for Fisher G in this race. Up the hill they go again. Only 3 laps to go in this event. Gary Corelli trying to hold on and find something for this 89. I just don't think he's going to quite get there. I think Troxel may be the guy who beats this 89 if there is anyone on the racetrack who can do it. Chase Buck, on the other hand, he's going to get 6th here from Brendan Wilmington. That 09 is really fast. Great race out of Chase Buck here. Don't think Troxel closed in any on this lap. This may just be over. We'll just have to see. Fisher G's going to have 2 laps to go as they cross the line this time. And Gary Corelli trying to hold on to that 2nd place finish. He grabbed 3 points yesterday, looking to get 9 here today. That'd be 12 total points on the weekend, which is definitely a lot to gain. And Corelli's definitely going to be happy about that if he gets it. And Troxel did lose some ground right there, so he probably used up all of his timing there on that 59, and as these tires were out, I think Fisher G's been able to kind of save those tires a little bit better because he hasn't had the battle with anybody. He's been able to kind of pace it up front. Actually, Fitzwater may close back in on Troxel here for 3rd. That's going to be another point towards the championship for Fitzwater if he can get it. And he very well could get it here. He's going to have a good entry up the hill. May cut to the inside going down the hill. Oh, he's going to try it right here. He's side by side with him. And Fitzwater looking to take advantage of the 21's misfortunes here in the last lap and a half. They're side by side. He should be able to get the advantage here through the next corner. If he can clear him, though, and Troxel's going to hold that outside and stay ahead of the 59 for now. But Fitzwater's back again on the back bumper of the 21. And Fitzwater going to try to peek to the inside as they exit the final corner. White flag in the air for Fisher G. Side by side for 3rd between Fitzwater and Troxel. Chase Buck may not get around Brendan Wilmington here. This is going to be a tight one. Dylan Young's going to try for that last point on Alexander Rowe. Still battling there for the 3rd position between Fitzwater and Troxel. Fitzwater's got the nose. This is a 1-point swing, but the points are much tighter this season than they were last year, and every single point's going to matter in this championship, and Fitzwater wants all he can get right here. Fisher G, on the other hand, I think is going to get this win. 1.5 seconds on the field right now. They continue the battle for third. Troxel may cross back over. Will he get back to the inside? Not quite. Fitzwater hangs on for now in that third position. Thomas Troxel in the 21 machine right behind him. That may have been it right there. Fitzwater may hold on, but Fisher G from the 12th starting position worked his way up the 4th, heading into the cycle of pit stops and then past everybody else afterwards. Fisher G is going to win the Grand Prix of California here at Willow Springs. Then it's Gary Corelli, Zachary Fitzwater with the podium. Troxel, Trey Wright, Chase Buck will get around Brendan Wilmington. Wilmington will finish 7th. Jesse Turner in 8th, Scott Upton in 9th, Alex in a row with the last point here at Willow Springs. What a race that was! And Fisher G for King Art Family Racing wins the Grand Prix of California here today in the Wawa Pro Series. A power win out of this 89 team. That was good. Gary Corelli did an excellent job, though, as a rookie here alongside all these veterans here today, even though he didn't get the win. 9 points towards the championship for Corelli, so he can have 12 total on the weekend, which is great to have. That's as much as Fisher G is going to get this weekend. He's only going to get 12 for this one race victory. Fisher G has the fastest lap. Will start on the pole for the California Sprint and Auto Club next week. Then it's Chase Buck, Jacob Walker, Landon Smith Jr., Trey Wright, Joey Hightower, Thomas Troxel, Chris Reynolds, Brad Stover, Ben Young. Take a look at the rest of the fastest lap results right there, and you will see the starting lineup for the California Sprint and Auto Club when we get to the official standings here in just a moment. But that is how they will start for the California Sprint, the order of the fastest lap in this race. Fisher G gets it done. 2.35 seconds. That may have just been the largest margin that the race leader had this entire race. Right there at the finish, Fisher G was quick. The only driver out there that was any faster than Fisher G was Chase Buck in the 09, and Chase Buck was kind of deep in the field there and just could not get to the race lead, but he's still going to get some points after all that. Gary Corelli, a nice, respectable second place. Actor Fitzwater, a nice, respectable third. I mean, Fitzwater led that first lap, but he obviously wasn't the quickest car. Troxel with 4th, great run for him. Trey Wright, even though he got sent into the wall by Fisher G, will still get 6 points here today, so that'll be good in his championship fight. Chase Buck, Brendan Wilmington, Jesse Turner, Scott Upton, Alex in a row, all of championship points here today. Nobody else getting anything else here today in this one, as only top 10 receive championship points. See the starting lineup for the California Sprint on the right-hand side of your screen, and that'll be at the Auto Club Speedway. First time we've gone there officially in the Wawa Pro Series, so we should have an excellent race there alongside the Hers Dash Series. Both series will be racing there at the Auto Club Speedway next week, and definitely excited to see how that will all go. It'll be a 14-lap sprint race and a 40-lap feature event for these guys here in the Wawa Pro Series next week from California. But thank you guys so much for watching. Fisher G gets it done here at Willow Springs, and he clearly had the fastest car. And like I mentioned, this is the first time we've done the ratings the way we have, where there's a 25-point range between all the attributes except for aggression. We keep that at 100. And that was a good race right there. And Fisher G had those numbers up to the higher side for this one, no doubt about it. He's going to take the race victory home here in the Grand Prix of California. Here are the points standings for the Wawa Pro Series after 2 full weekends, 2 features, and 2 sprints. We'll see you guys next week from the Auto Club Speedway. Tomorrow, IndyCar is back. After that great Indy 250 that we had 2 weeks ago, IndyCar is back from Road America. The last time we went there, we had a banger of a race then. Hopefully, we'll have another banger tomorrow as well. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. We'll try and do better next time. Fisher G, the race winner here at Willow Springs. And we'll see you guys next week from the Auto Club Speedway. Congratulations to the Fisher G once again, and I will see you guys later.